My parents called the cops on me for selling candy. Yeah, I got the good stuff right here, I whispered into my phone while weighing the goods on my little scale. $10 and you'll be flying high by lunch, I added, just as my bedroom door flew open. Busted! My mom yelled at the top of her lungs. Behind her stood my dad filming everything and two cops who looked ready to save me from a life in prison. The whole thing started 3 weeks ago when I learned to make killer peanut butter fudge in my bedroom. My buddy showed me this super easy recipe where you just throw peanut butter and butter in the microwave. After 90 seconds, you stir in powdered sugar and put it in the fridge. The first batch came out so good that kids at school went crazy for it after I shared some at lunch. This one girl literally got on her knees in the cafeteria and begged, "Please, I need more of that stuff. I'll pay anything." Pretty soon people were throwing $10 bills at me just to get their hands on my fudge, so I started making it every night after my parents went to bed. I had kids hitting me up at all hours with texts like, "You awake? I need a fix," and "Bro, just one bag please." I'd meet kids behind the school to collect cash and hand over the goods. Everything went south when my mom spotted a bit of powdered sugar on my desk and found my scale under some papers. She had heard me on the phone saying, "I can hook you up with 2 bags tomorrow, but rush orders cost extra, and this stuff is way stronger than last time because I doubled up on the good ingredients." My mom freaked out and called my dad at work immediately. "I think our son is selling something out of his room," she told him while pacing around the kitchen. "He's always got cash and kids text him constantly asking if he's holding." They tore my room apart while I was at school and found $200 in my sock drawer. They also found lists of names with dollar amounts and a bag of white powder they thought was something bad. My parents called the counselor at my school and he said this sounded really serious and maybe they should call the police before someone got hurt. My mom gathered everyone outside my door while I was on another deal call with this freshman who wouldn't stop begging. "Listen man, if you want the pure stuff you pay up front," I told him on speaker. "I'm not getting burned again like when that kid said I shorted him." My mom counted down on her fingers and mouthed 3, 2, 1 before they crashed through my door. They expected to find me surrounded by illegal substances, but instead they all saw me sitting there holding a container of fresh peanut butter fudge. "What the hell do you think you're doing, young man?" my mom yelled while the cops looked around confused. Selling fudge?" I said, holding up the fudge like it was obvious. Everyone just stood there staring at me and then at each other trying to figure out what was happening. My dad snatched the container from my hand, opened it, and took a huge sniff before his whole face changed. "Oh my god, it really is just fudge," he asked, starting to laugh. My mom grabbed it and took the tiniest bite before turning red. "This whole time you've been selling fudge?" she practically screamed. The cops started cracking up when I showed them my recipe card and my order sheet. "So let me get this straight," the younger cop said, trying not to smile. "The scale is for measuring candy and the white powder is just powdered sugar?" I nodded and pointed to my stash of ingredients in the closet. "And when these kids ask if you're holding, they mean, do you have fudge ready?" the older cop asked. "Yes. What else would they mean?" The cops were bent over dying of laughter while my parents stood there processing that they just called the cops on their son for making candy. "Can I finish this order?" I asked, holding up my phone. "He already paid and he'll be mad if I don't deliver." My mom threw her hands up and walked out while my dad stayed behind. "So $10 a bag, huh?" he asked with a grin. "Want to go into business together?"